Hello, Hearties! Welcome to the Hearties Hotline. I am Cammie, the hooked Hearty.
And I'm Sarah, the hawk-eyed Hardy, and we are back again.
I'm getting better at that.
Yeah, I haven't messed up my eye pointing yet.
No, no, no. We are, of course, going to talk to you about season 13, episode 2, Up in Smoke. I agree.
Whew.
A lot of things went up in smoke, but I will get to that in a moment. I have two questions of the day for you.
Ew. Okay,
Two.
hit me with them.
All right. They are trivia questions.
Not
Okay.
really my strong suit.
I know.
I used to be so good at trivia. I feel like I've fallen off my
Falling
a
off the trivia wagon.
little bit.
What was the name of the hotel that Rosemary told Elizabeth and Allie to meet her?
The Grand Hotel? No.
Crown.
Crown. See, that sounds very similar to what I said.
No, no, it didn't. All right, try this one on for size.
Okay.
What is the play that Rosemary was going to put on at the Playhouse?
Well, that, of course, was Pirates of Penzance.
Oh,
I do pay attention.
you did. I thought it was going to be switched. I thought you were going to get Crown Hotel, but not get Pirates of Penzance. So, hey, you just impressed me.
Again, we have been waiting for this playhouse for how long?
Oh
I
my
paid very
gosh.
close attention to that playbill.
It is not fair. I put in my notes, no, Playhouse.
Oh,
Season two. Season two is when Lee promised that he was going to get her theater, and it was finally going to come true. And it's gone.
what a tease. What a tease
Oh,
from the show to be like, we're finally doing it. And then it's like, no.
oh,
Let's just talk about that tiny bit of the storyline now so we can move on to other stuff.
yes.
I thought Pascal did such an amazing job kind of balancing that, like really showing that she knows what matters. She knows that the bottom line is everybody's safe and that, the most important thing is helping everyone. But she's still like, you can tell that it bothers her. And not just for the playhouse, but also for the park. You
Oh,
can tell how
yeah.
invested she is in that and how important it was like for their family and they worked so hard on it and he spent time away from home to get it going and like all of these factors.
Did you notice the button? The
Yes.
Goldie National Park button? She still had it on
Yes.
when he tells her that everything's gone. So the framing was
Mhm.
perfect. You see her crushed face right there with the pin, and you just go, oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Just and then the scene later with her crying at the table and he sees her on the stairs, like that was just so beautifully done. They both really portrayed that quiet, mournful, reflective type of reaction in a very realistic way.
and when Lee couldn't throw away all of the programs, I mean, that was such a cold businessman with the melting heart of a husband in there, and father. He picks them up He tosses them all away, and then he said, "No, I can't do it." And he saves one so that he can remember what almost was.
I had a slightly different take on it though.
Okay.
I saw him throwing them away as he needed to get them out of sight so they didn't upset Rosemary.
I can definitely see that as well.
He
I think it
didn't.
was definitely a twofold reason that it would be both, but
Yeah.
his face to me looked like he was just mad. And so he just "Ugh, I'll keep one. Okay, given the fact that we were just talking about how sad we were about the fire, you're probably going to kill me when,
Uh-oh.
when I say this. But can you say genuine danger? You know what I'm talking about.
Well, tell me specifically what you're talking about, and then I'll tell you what I'm thinking.
Windstorm. It was
Yes. Okay.
actual real danger. And there was fire. And it actually looked like they could die in that forest fire.
I did feel like it was a little unrealistic that like there's fire on both sides of the trail and they are just like walking through it. Like I don't really feel like that's exactly how forest fire spreads, but okay. I mean, for the purposes of this show,
Yeah,
suspend, suspending my belief, you know.
at least there was actual flame.
Yeah. No, it looked very realistic. It was very nicely done with good effects and
And Allie tearing up the trail marker to put the kerchief around her mouth and around Opal's mouth. I just said, yes, this is surviving in a very bad natural disaster. And it actually is a disaster happening.
yeah.
Although I do have to bring up the point that Nathan said it's just spot fires now, but with this wind, nothing was moving. they've, they've got a thing they've got a thing for wind on this show.
Maybe it's just like not down in the valley. Maybe it's like up on the hill. It's a lot windier. They're in like they're kind of
Fair enough.
protected. They're a little protected by the drift.
The buildings, the
Yeah,
buildings
buildings
definitely
are
help block the wind.
they're so strong. Yeah.
But yes, I felt the genuine danger of the fire. I felt the fear of everyone involved in the fire. Okay, Hardy through and through. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know that. I'm
Of course.
reminding all of our I'm reminding all of our listeners. But I have to say, and a lot of you already know this, that windstorm drove me
Yeah.
crazy. It
That
I
was a
was
tough
not
spot.
I was not convinced, and there was a little bit of eye rolling. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. There was a little bit of eye rolling with the windstorm, and that they were talking about how Elizabeth and Emily could have died when a twig as thick as two of my fingers fell in front of them. Sorry, not convinced. But when a burning tree falls in front of Joseph and Nathan on their horses, yeah, I believe
It's a
that.
little more, yeah. They upped their game for the disaster. Yeah.
They definitely upped their game in the disaster arena. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Frequency. You ever seen it?
Oh, yes, love that.
Yeah, with Dennis Quaid and Jim Caviezel. Um, but that is instantly what came to mind when Nathan said, "Go this way." And Joseph said, "But that takes us into the heart of the fire." And he says, "Trust me." Because in frequency, the fireman went with his instincts of going away from the fire. But the chief said to his son later, if he had just gone the other way, he would have gotten out.
Yeah.
And so I immediately thought of that. And so when Joseph said, "That's right into the heart of the fire," and he says, "Just trust me." And off they went into the heart of the fire, but it took them along the creek that gave them the natural fire break. And I love what Joseph said, that this man keeps cool in a crisis.
Yes. And also, I want to point out it was really great seeing Elizabeth handle that, handle Nathan leaving so many different times to go help different people and really putting himself at risk, and her being genuinely worried, her being concerned and showing that concern, but also being okay and knowing, of course you have to go.
Mm-hmm. There's no question that you're going. Of course you
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. So her growth has really been nice.
Yeah. I let's talk about that mandatory evacuation for both towns for a minute.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, number one, I remember us talking about this, that in the first few seasons of Nathan being around, he didn't get a chance to really show his stuff. He didn't get a chance to be a hero. He didn't get a chance to stand out. He didn't get a chance to show his courage, that and the gumption and the bravery that he had in doing so many of the things that he had done. We didn't know that he was Captain Mounty, if you will. Oh no,
No, I think,
we didn't know that he was Captain Constable instead of just the mild-mannered Mountie.
right. I think part of that is just showing his character's growth too. When he was younger, he was more of the hothead Mountie and going out and disobeying orders because he knew it was the right thing to do, but still kind of pushing boundaries,
Uh-huh.
following his own gut instead of doing more what he's expected to do. And then he had this tragedy where he felt guilty about everything that happened to Jack, and he comes to Hope Valley. I think he was kind of had his tail between his legs. I think he was very uncertain about himself and who he was and his approach to things and his approach to his job. And I feel like he's grown back into it, and maybe a little bit of the hothead coming back, but not as much. Maybe more just like trusting when to trust your gut instead of just always following what you think you should do, and like balancing that with more forethought and more responsibility to everyone affected.
Yeah, but that's exactly what I'm saying. It's really showing his
Yeah.
growth.
Yeah.
And I am loving seeing him be a little bit more in authority. For instance, I remember that you and I had kind of talked about, why are Bill and Rosemary doing all of the detective work? Why is the Mountie not involved? But last season, they did involve him, and they came to him with the case study, and they got him involved. And then he's the one who ended up going undercover, which I just thought was brilliant.
Sure.
Suspenders Unbuttoned did a Grant, Nathan Grant. They did. Oh, it was great with him in that white jacket. It was awesome. And so that was amazing. And now seeing him just barking orders and riding in and out of town and saving lives and consulting the higher authority of the mayor.
I was
But
gonna say that too.
yeah, consulting the higher authority of the mayor, but then going straight and getting it done and getting everybody moving.
Yeah.
And then he's the one to break the news that Benson Hills is gone. And just all of these things, we are really seeing Captain Constable come out. That's from a blog I did a long time ago. But we're really seeing the mild mannered Mountie kind of slip away, and Captain Constable is coming out full force. Although, I do have to say, if he were Captain Constable, he would have kissed her hello when he came back.
Or goodbye when he left.
Thank you.
Whew. I love all the just nice, like sweet hair touches and everything, but my gosh, you gotta move on. You gotta mix it up a little. Poof.
Not only do you have to mix it up a little bit, but if you think that this was my biggest frustration with the flood in season 3, Jack is going off to go and see about helping people in the flood and about digging the miners out of the mine that were trapped in the mudslide. You don't know if something's going to happen to him, and he hugs her and says, I'll see you soon. No, you tell her that you love her and you kiss her goodbye.
Yeah. Oh well.
Oh well.
Okay.
However, however, maybe they didn't say that when he left or right when he came back, but kind of made up for it when, oh, excuse me a minute, I have to.
I was gonna say, did I lose you again?
Hey, that hasn't happened in a long time. Thank you very much.
Only because we've only recorded once in a long time.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, right about that. But when he said, do you have any idea how much I love you? I'm speechless. I'm at a loss for words here. It it's a testament to Kevin and Aaron's chemistry
Yeah.
on screen. It's a testament to both of their acting skills because he just he does this thing where he just looks at her and he shakes his head a little bit, and you can tell that he is completely, hopelessly, and irreversibly in love with her.
Yeah. And I
And
loved how he was talking about not being able to sleep. It's one of those things, again, we hated the love triangle, but seeing him go through not thinking he's ever going to be with her and then finally getting her makes that so much more rich for watching him and how he deals with it. And I think that makes it just look so much more deep when he's like he's truly appreciative. He's truly grateful to have her. He knows what he has.
because how many nights of sleep did he lose when he didn't have her? How many nights of sleep did he lose crying because that's the only time that no one could see him?
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I'm admitting it. It's like my time in Nicaragua. I would never want to take it back, but I would never want to relive it. So, yes, it makes the experience richer, but please don't put me through it again.
Right. Absolutely. Yes.
And going off of that, in that same scene where they come back and Rosemary comments that they look like they've been through a war, and Allie comes up. Did you love Nathan's reaction?
Of
His
course.
ex his I yes, of course you
Yeah.
did, but
I mean,
just but his exhausted and relieved, oh, Allie. It's just oh, it's so sweet. And these episodes and the last few episodes of last season, the romance has kind of been pushed to the side a little bit. I wouldn't say it's been pushed back to the back burner or anything like that, but they've been dealing with crisis after crisis. And Rosemary says it's only your second night home. And
I couldn't even believe that. I was like, each one of these episodes is one day.
yes,
My gosh, please tell me this season is more than 2 weeks.
I think it's going to be,
Oh,
but they've been dealing with little Jack's diabetes and then the insulin and then moving to Kate Fullerton and securing everything for the clinic in Hope Valley and now the fire and helping all of the refugees from Benson Hills. So the romance has kind of taken a step back and it's been moved over for other storylines. But at the same time, maybe the romance itself is pushed off to the side, but the relationship is only getting stronger because they are strengthening the relationship between all of them. I mean, when Allie got back from being rescued and she got off of Oliver's horse after she and Nathan exchanged I love yous, which I thought, oh, that was so sweet. But but after she got off Oliver's horse, she ran straight for Elizabeth. And that just tells you a thing or two, right?
oh, absolutely. The only thing I'm still waiting for the family. Oh, okay, there's two things. That's obvious. The only
I
other
got
thing
you.
I'm
I'm
still waiting
sorry.
for, the only other thing I'm still waiting for,
Yes.
is what Jack is going to call Nathan, besides Mountie Nathan.
Yeah.
Eventually, he's gonna have to drop the Mountie or come up with a nickname, or like that was one piece of the Lucas relationship that I loved, is that he had kind of they called each other buddy. They had a special bond and a special
Uh-huh.
way of talking to each other. And I feel like
Yep.
Nathan's gotten more personal with how he talks to little Jack. And little Jack talks to Nathan more. It is more direct, like they have their own relationship outside of everyone else.
Yeah.
But
The way he calls him kiddo.
yeah, like it is much more personal than it was last season. But
Yeah.
it still had that, like I was expecting him in that moment to call him Nathan. And then he still said Mountie Nathan. And I was like, okay, so that's like the next step that I'm waiting for, is like what,
Okay.
like is he gonna ask Elizabeth at some point if he can call him dad? Is he, how will that transition? Because it will have to at some point. He's not going to call him Mountie Nathan for the rest of his life.
No. No. That's a really good point. And I'm ashamed to say I hadn't thought of that one.
Well, because in that moment, I almost thought that it almost made sense that they weren't kissing goodbye because the kids were right there. But then I was like, that's not that weird.
Nuh-uh.
But then I was like, maybe they haven't really been that affectionate in front of the kids yet. And then I was like, but it's been months and they were all living in the same house. There have to
Yeah, well, and
like
remember last season the potluck when Nathan brought Oliver over to the potluck. It had Nathan and Elizabeth kissing hello in the background. It wasn't
yeah, so it's not
even
like they're being totally private, but they might just be trying to not be super open with it either in public, but at the
Mhm.
same time in private, like little Jack has to know now that they're dating.
He's gotta.
I think by now he's got to know a little bit more than we like to have adult conversations that are boring. He's got to have a hunch that
Yeah.
there's more to it.
I'm
So,
I'm sure he does, but we don't know how it's been worded.
yeah. So that's what I'm excited to see hopefully this
That's what
season.
you want to see. Well, we don't have the nickname for little Jack to call Nathan, but he sure was a hero to another small child.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Interesting new character, huh?
Yeah, very. And, there is something very interesting about Nathan's interactions with her. He seems a lot more formal. And I'm not just talking about because he's a Mountie and she's a child, but Nathan has very informal language, right? He
Yeah.
he doesn't use very formal language all the time. And I thought that it was very interesting that instead of saying, I will do everything in my power to find your dad, because that's what she called him.
Right.
Nathan said to her, I will do everything in my power to find your father. And then I love what he said right there. I give you my promise as a Mountie. And I don't know exactly what that means. I don't know if there is a specific meaning for it, but it was something different that I noticed. And I wonder if they did that on purpose or if that was just coincidence because it was a completely different tone. It was completely different vocabulary from what he usually uses, even in the line of duty. He'll say stuff like father and son, but he'll still say your dad or your mom. So it was interesting to hear him use more formal language and then just go way down into the depths of seriousness and say, I give you my promise as a Mountie that I'm going to do everything I can to find your father.
I mean, I hate to always go back to this, but it probably is kind of connected to feeling that guilt over little Jack losing his dad.
It's funny because I had a thought about the past. And yes, I thought of that, but I also thought of he knows what it's like to wonder where your dad is.
Both for
Because
himself and for Allie.
exactly, he knows he has so much experience with missing fathers that he doesn't want to add her to the list. And so I think that that's the feeling and that's the depth behind it. I'm just wondering if they added the language on purpose or if that was just
I
something that
do
happened as a result.
I do feel like he had more formal language in the first season, like his first season, not because they didn't know his character yet necessarily, but more because he didn't know any of the peoples. I do feel like when he doesn't know people, he's a little more formal.
Mm-hmm.
He talks more informally in town all the time because he knows everyone in town really
Yeah.
well. Um, he does seem to talk a little more formally if it's somebody from out of town, some stranger, when they, other situations when they've been out of town, he does seem a little bit more formal.
Yeah, but he's usually not formal with kids. So, because he's always
Yeah.
trying to make them feel comfortable. It was just something I noticed, and I loved it. I kind of liked that they did that because it made him seem very serious, very directed and well intentioned and very gung ho. And it just, this sounds so stupid and juvenile, but it just made him seem so adult.
Yeah.
So let's continue on with Gwendolyn for a minute here. I want to know if you had any thoughts about her with when she was watching Lucas's magic both times.
There's always the possibility that that reminds her of her dad, or her
Uh-huh.
dad either looks like him a little bit, or does magic tricks, or there could be some sort of connection there. I definitely noticed that that caught her eye very specifically at the beginning, and then in the second scene really helped her relax and seem a little bit more at ease.
When she first took a few steps forward when Lucas was playing on the street with the kids, I thought she recognized him.
Oh,
And I thought, oh no,
no,
how
no,
does
let's see.
she fit in here? What is she gonna bring? What bad news is she going to dig up or something? But I thought that she recognized him because she was just staring at him so intently that I thought that she had recognized him. And then when she was watching later, I said, oh, okay. And I think that you're right, even though it was Goldie who actually made her smile, I think you're right when you say that it was Lucas's magic that loosened her up a little bit.
Yeah. I really loved also Lee's interactions with her
Yeah.
because he seemed to know just the right amount of how much to interact with her. Like, not to push, but to be there, to just kind of draw her out a little bit, but very low stakes. And for Lee, also, Lee has mellowed as a dad big time.
Yes.
Can you imagine him before Goldie, Rosemary just inviting some kid to live at their house for a little while without talking to him first? That would have been a little bit much for him to take. And he was just like, oh, yeah, yeah, let's do that. Oh, you're saying we need a babysitter? I've never heard that before, but yeah, okay. I see what you're doing there. Yeah.
Well, I mean, they probably do. They've got a lot to do in this town, but still, yes.
Yeah, that was very sweet.
Let's talk about the politician slash magician slash comedian. I didn't know he was a comedian too.
Oh, my goodness.
So, first things first, talking backstage, and he's got stage fright. Is it strange that I'm nervous? Rosemary's just lost her theater and she still is playing the actress.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth's face, did you see it?
Yes, it was the classic best friend Elizabeth of the Elizabeth and Rosemary
Classic.
from what, season three was probably
Yeah,
when we got most of those interactions, probably with the two
yeah.
of them.
But
Whew.
on the contrary, it would be strange if you weren't. Not once have I strode the boards and not felt that tingle of butterflies. It's what awakens the showwoman, or showman, as the case may be.
I feel like we really got to see the real Chris more in that scene
You
because
think?
he's not really as like
Straight
stuffy
laced?
and straight-laced in interviews and in other roles that we've seen him play. He's
Yeah.
much more casual and a little goofy, and he doesn't really get to do that so much as Lucas. And I think that's one thing that I liked about seeing him a lot with Little Jack when he was dating Elizabeth, because you got to see kind of a little bit softer and more goofy side. And so I thought it was really nice to see him with these kids. And I mean, he's a dad and he's got another one on the way. And so it was kind of neat to see that like goofy side of him.
Yeah. So I agree with you 100%, but I'm going to go on the opposite end of the scale and talk about how much I love that Lucas was with those people digging that
Yes,
fire break. He
yes.
was heading it all up. He went after Edie after Nathan told him that she went to go and check on her ranch and save her animals. He kicked open the gate, and my favorite part was when she says that she has to free the cattle. That close up of Chris, that close up of Lucas was beautiful. He had this perfect blend of terror. We have got to get out of here. Look at us. We're surrounded by flames. And then nope, I'm gonna go help her. And he gets that determination, and
Mhm.
he goes off camera to go and help her free the cattle. And that moment, oh, whoever wrote in that moment or chose that moment, they need a raise because that was awesome. I
Yeah.
really, really loved that moment. It was my favorite, even though I have a thing for magic and Broadway. And so when I turned 21, my parents took me on a road trip, and one of the stops, we got to see a magician singing Broadway songs while he performed his tricks, and I just was in heaven. So
Oh my goodness, how you found that is crazy.
I know it was awesome. It was in Branson, Missouri. But anyway, moving right along. So even though I'm a sucker for magic, that one moment that has got to be my favorite
Oh,
Lucas moment because it was full. It was fully charged of so many emotions, and he put them all on his face in 3 seconds.
yeah. I'm going to slightly disagree. I think my favorite moment was the hand holding.
Actually, you got me there. Yes.
That was just
he was
after
putting
Nathan.
he was putting his feelings into action when he was
Exactly.
helping her free the cattle. So it's okay. We can have differing opinions. It's okay.
Of course. Of course. You got to have both moments, I think. They
Exactly. You
they
do.
combine to equal the greater good of the character.
So, what did you think about her returning the gold coin?
I thought it was twofold. I thought it was her gesture to him that they are kind of tied together and he should keep it because she doesn't need it. But I also took it to be like, yeah, I'm a lawyer. I cannot have this. You cannot give this to me. I have to be I have to like follow the laws and I can't do that. You are the governor. You should not be doing this either, but like, this is on you. Don't drag me down with you.
I do have to say, I love their banter.
Oh, yeah.
I love their banter. And that is something that we haven't seen a whole lot in Lucas. And
It was the thing I missed with him and Elizabeth is they
yeah,
didn't really banter, and I just felt like that wasn't obviously couples don't have to banter to be a good couple, but
no, but it's fun.
it's fun and it just felt different. It to me it feels like if she it feels like Elizabeth was like the banter was part of who she really is and how she
Uh-huh.
truly is when she's relaxed and that's how you see her interact with someone she cares about. And she and Jack did it a lot, and so that told me it was part of his character. And then when she didn't do it at all with Lucas, it again is why it felt off at the beginning, especially, is because
Okay.
she felt like she was sort of behaving differently because
Mm-hmm.
she
Mm-hmm.
was. And so seeing her with Nathan and them bantering, it really just seemed like that was part of who Elizabeth was and how she, showed care for people. And she
Mm-hmm.
and Jack bantered all the time. And when she and Lucas got together and they didn't really banter, it just felt very different. It felt like didn't really have the same personality. And so seeing her banter with Nathan now and seeing Lucas banter with Edie, it just kind of makes it feel like, oh, yes, now they're where they're supposed to be. Like they cared for each other very much and they were happy and they did have a good connection, but they weren't fully ever able to either one of them feel like themselves fully and kind
Mm-hmm.
of truly behave themselves. They both kind of were being who they thought they needed to be for the other one.
Yeah, yeah, I think that's a really good way of saying it. So let's talk about another couple who admitted that they were being weird. I
That was
love
the
that.
sweetest. That was the
I
sweetest way to
love.
talk about
See, everybody, communication is key. It doesn't have to be tense and weird.
Although I would really appreciate it if it wasn't right in front of criminals. It'd be a little sweeter, just a little. Did she
The
not even
whole
know he was there?
time, the whole time that those two were talking, I went, "Where's the prisoner? Is he
Well,
hearing all of this?"
exactly. I was having trouble focusing on the conversation because I was like, okay, either the prisoner's listening to this or the prisoner's not there and they didn't explain why he's not there. And now I'm confused what happened. One way or another, this is confusing. And then I was like, oh, wait, I need to hear what they're saying.
Oh, right, that. But I do have to say that something that I really loved that Oliver did, it reminded me a lot of Jack in season one when he stops Allie from going so
Hmm.
that he can specifically tell her, I wanted to tell you this. I didn't get the chance, and I almost lost my chance, or at least it felt like it. So
Hmm.
I need to tell you now. I really missed you this summer. And it reminded me of season one when Jack comes over to Abigail's house to specifically tell Elizabeth. I remember he said, "Where do I start?" And he said, "I have to tell you, I care. I care what happens to you." And even though that's not exactly what we wanted to hear, it was a step in the right direction.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so these two, they're 17 and 18 years old. So this is perfectly fine. It's fine for them to say, "I really missed you this summer." That's
It's a
fine.
Good start. Yeah, that's
It's
very
a
good.
it's a perfect place to start. And we didn't miss the twinkle in Constable Garrett's eye when he made his first arrest, did we?
I love how that scene was written
Me
with
too.
between, you know, Ned and Florence trying to stand up for their mercantile stand and what they were doing to
Yeah.
help people, to the way Bill stood up, didn't say who he was, just tried to like talk him into it, then started to kind of make his move. Then when he wasn't feeling well, here comes Oliver.
It was terrible what that one tiny little altercation did to him. I just went, whoa, he
Well, it
does
was
not look
definitely
good.
well, he was definitely struggling from
Oh,
before
from
that,
the smoke, yeah,
from the
but
smoke.
just
But
that bad. It was
yeah,
that bad. I'm wondering if maybe the prisoner hit him in the chest.
yeah. It could be. It could just be that he was like being really tough about the smoke and couldn't hold it in when he was pushed. Um,
Yeah.
but then when Bill had to help take him down again and brought out his cuffs, handing them over to Oliver. I mean, yes, there was a bit of that was like, I'm not feeling very strong right now, but I totally saw that as a sign of respect and like, you earned this. Do your,
Well, and
you bring him
he
in.
he's respecting his title as a constable.
Yes. Yeah. No,
And
that was really nice.
the way that he gave him the order, arrest this man, Constable Garrett. Yes, sir, Judge Avery. It's just perfect
And the look
balance.
on the guy's face when he's like, a constable and a judge. What is my luck for this? Like, how
Okay,
did I run into the two lawmen of the town?
yeah. I wrote in my notes, who does this guy think he is? Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. Seriously? What is wrong with that man?
Yeah. Some people.
Do you think that we're going to see more of him? Do you think that he's going to come into play again, or do you think he's done?
Could he could he could be, you know, hired hand of McGinty's or something like that, but I think it's more likely he was just a one-off, just something to stir up a little bit of drama and build
Give
up,
Oliver his first arrest?
give Oliver his first arrest and get a reason to get kind of knock Bill down and yeah.
Yeah, it's I don't really know either. I was just wondering what you thought because it could very well go both ways.
Yeah,
I thought we were going to see more of the guy who ran Nathan down.
right. Sometimes you do wonder. But the way this show goes, we'll see him in like 6 years. They'll be like, hey, do you remember that guy that Oliver arrested? He's back.
Okay, I want to talk about Minnie for just a second here.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm a boy mom. I'm a boy
Yeah.
mom and a girl mom, but
Yeah.
my boys are my youngest. And my two middle kids both said, I love how he's bending down to hug her because he's taller and she's calling him my baby boy. And the way Coop said, you can call me that just this once. But then at the end of the show, he comes and seeks a hug because he
Yeah.
needs it.
Yeah.
He needs a hug from his mom. So I saw something when I watched the preview
Uh-huh.
for next Sunday's episode.
Uh-huh. What'd you see?
And I didn't notice it at first. One of my kids saw it and said something, and I rewound it and I went, "Oh my gosh. Do you
Uh-huh.
think that the boys accidentally set that fire?"
I kind of do.
You kind of do.
Or they're going to make us think that for a while until we discover that it didn't. Like, or maybe the boys think they started it,
Uh-huh.
are like riddled with guilt, and then later we find out no, what they did, maybe they did do something that could have started the fire, but it didn't, and then they discover that it was McGinty or it was something that was an accident. Um, but I definitely saw the breadcrumbs that they're going to either have done it or think they did it, or someone thinks they did it. It's definitely going to be explored in a future episode for sure.
Lee is sure convinced that it's AJ McGinty.
To me, that's why I kind of think the boys did, because I feel like it's too obvious that it would be McGinty, even though why would it not be McGinty? That sounds
Yeah.
exactly like what he would do and the timing and everything. But how could you? It was so, I mean, I know everybody knows these four kids and trusts them and loves them, and they're all four very responsible kids, but they were in the forest. And not once did anyone even say, "Hey, did you see anything? Did you drop anything? Did you see anything that could have sparked?" Like, not that they would accuse them of it, but no one even asked if they had any idea what could have started it, which seems bizarre to me. They all just assumed that they had nothing to do with it because we love them and trust them and they're very responsible. And that's great. But it was so odd that the subject didn't come up by them or any of the adults.
You know what's funny? When was the last time that a fire happened on accident because of children?
Yeah,
Jack and Elizabeth's wedding.
yeah,
The kids started that fire in the church because they were practicing, bless their hearts.
yeah. See, but that makes me think that they didn't do it, because why would they keep having kids start fires over and over again?
Hey, it's been several years. I mean, that's not over and
Yeah.
over again. It's time for another accident done by kids.
Okay. Hmm. Yeah. So, yeah, but I mean, the hug from Cooper could really be just this was overwhelming and really scary, and I need a
It
hug
could
from my
be
mom.
both.
But the look in his eyes told me there was more to it.
Fear. There was fear and guilt.
Yeah, it was more like, yeah, it was definitely more like guilt, not just like that was scary. It was definitely more
No, no,
like
no, not that,
something.
not that kind of fear. I'm talking about fear of what's coming
Yeah.
because of the
Yeah.
guilt.
It seemed like something like there's something I need to tell you, but I don't want to tell you.
Yeah.
And also just the fact that they had split up makes it just feel more suspicious. You know,
That's true.
the boys were closer to the heart of the fire. You know, there's no, if Allie would have seen it, she would have said something at this point. When she was a little younger, probably not, but at this point
No.
she would have said something.
Yeah.
And I kind of think Opal would too. And I really like Cooper and Toby, but I just don't know that they would have.
They're 13-year-old boys. You know what I mean? 13-year-old boys are not known for being responsible. I'm married to a former pyromaniac. You should hear some of the things that he did when he was 13.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a storyline, whether it happened or
Yeah.
not. But yeah,
We'll see.
we will see. It's gonna be a tough one because losing all of that and especially Benson Hills and people losing their homes, and we don't know the extent really of what happened with Gwendolyn's dad. It sounds like they don't think it's could be fatal. They sounded
It
not
sounds like
horrific.
he's pretty bad off, though, because they
Yeah,
don't want anybody coming to bring in infection. And that's partly
the
the
time, the
the
time frame.
time, yes, but they wouldn't do that unless it was pretty bad.
Yeah, but Nathan was also very adamant about there were no fatalities, a couple of injuries, but no
But there were
fatalities.
injuries, yeah.
I think if there was someone near death and suspected that they might die, I think he would have maybe phrased it differently.
I don't think he's near death, but I think he's very serious.
Yeah. That does also happen a lot on this show with parents getting seriously ill and someone else needing to adopt them or
Oh
temporarily watch them,
gosh.
and then it turns into months, and then maybe they'll just live there forever.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, it happened a couple times already.
And on that note, we will leave you for now.
Stay tuned next week to see which storyline is repeating on this season.
A lot of possibilities, aren't there? There are
Yes.
a lot of possibilities for similar storylines. I mean, we already had the disaster and the falling tree in the windstorm versus fire. So there are a lot of potential avenues that
Yeah.
this plot line can go, and it could be a completely new one, or it could be a mirror of something that has already happened. So all this and more next
Oh,
time.
comment on the video what you think's going to happen next, especially if you think it's a repeated storyline. How do you think they're going to mix it up this time?
Or if we missed a storyline that you saw and you think that a storyline is being repeated, let us know. We'd love to hear your thoughts. And we will see you next time. Have a beautiful morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in your day. Remember, you are valued, you are loved, you are important. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye, Hearties.